Well, we're hearing from a woman who was once one of Hillary Clinton's closest senior advisors about Hillary and Bill's marriage, Bill's infidelity, and whether Hillary should take any of the blame for how she treated other women at the time. Listen to what Patty Solis-Doyle, Hillary's 2008 campaign manager, told David Axelrod on his podcast.
Here's what I think about that. I think what Bill Clinton did in terms of infidelity was absolutely horrible. What he did was very, very wrong. What happened between them and their marriage is their business. I think it's its own form of sexism to somehow blame the spouse for what the husband did. I think that's its own form of sexism.
Wow. Okay, Mike Tobin, what do you think about this new defense from the Clinton campaign about Hillary going after the women who alleged sexual assault?
Blaming her, I don't think it's sexist. I think it's stupid. He did it. I mean, what are you going to say? She wasn't fit enough, so it was his fault that he meandered, or that he, of course, had to meander? I mean, that's a crazy point to make. Blaming her for putting secure emails on a server, yeah, that's fair. For what her husband does, that's not fair. And, you know. So
you agree with Patty Solis. It's not fair to blame Bill Clinton, but yet the campaign has sort of, they've moderated on this, Melissa, a number of times. I mean, she's actually gone after these women.
Right.
And they've tried to defend this in the 1990s by saying it's a private matter. Now they're changing their tune altogether.
Yeah, I mean, she went on to say in the podcast and other places that, you know, of course she said some things about Monica Lewinsky, but isn't that natural? You know, if there is someone who had something going on with your husband, of course you would have said something that was private, that sort of thing. I don't know. I mean, this whole interview was interesting to me, and it lost a little bit of credibility when she said later that Bill and Hillary hold hands, and when he puts his hand on her shoulder, she just lights up. They have a very good relationship. I'll tell you this, they love each other.
There is no indication that
lighting up. I don't think I've ever seen Hillary Clinton light up about anything. I'm not sure about that. So this whole interview to me was, it smacked of somebody who's kind of trying to get back in good with the Clintons or something.
What do you think, Sandra? She also said during this interview that she's tired nowadays, which I don't think she wanted out there.
Well, I think that there's several different arguments here, and she's defending one that, I don't know, I think a lot of people agree with. She's saying that you can't say that she did anything wrong because her husband cheated on her. I think most of us can agree with that. But she's missing the point, Andrea, that you eloquently point out. Hillary Clinton went on the attack against these women who did things with her husband, okay? So that's an argument that certainly she could defend.
Isn't that the point?
I'll cut her slack there. I mean, I'm not a relationship expert, but I've seen a lot of wives get cranky with the mistress. Not big fans.
What about the husband? I think he should probably be the main target of the agitation. I'm not sure the other one is the one who's causing the problem necessarily. I mean, she's the one who happens to be there, especially in a case like this.
And when you get into the issue of war on women and what happened with Paula Jones and all of that, there's some culpability. But the fact that she called Monica Lewinsky horrible names, no, you just got to let that go.
But there's one thing to get, I guess, what did you say, lippy with the mistress or grouchy with the mistress, Harris, cranky with the mistress. But these women, and some of them came out and said that they were sexually assaulted. It was not something that they willingly participated in. How about that?
Well, and I mean, this is a person who's running for president who says that she's willing to fight for the rights of women, so on and so forth, and that on the other side of the political aisle, she says that there's a war on women. So, I mean, you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to be able to be big enough, put on your big girl pants, and say something like, you know, I hate the fact that my husband was going where he shouldn't have gone, but if he did something he shouldn't have done and one of these women were victims, I would have a real heart for that. Like, it would have been simple, no matter how scorned she may have felt. But then to years later have that be played back, that's not how she handled it, against I'm going to fight for all women's rights. It's just sticky.
Yeah, when you bully women who say that they didn't really ask for it and it wasn't consensual, I don't know, that doesn't really make you a champion for women, huh?